Who is the most insane person you've known in your entire life? Samantha and I met in high school freshman year. We grew close as we were both borderline misfits. She more than I. She was a very sweet girl, very shy, and you could tell she was looking to break free of the religious background she came from. I was emo. I was everything she wanted to be. Her words, not mine. So we began a friendship and she learned a lot from me. She started to change. She would tell me her parents were getting upset that she was straying from her religion and beliefs. She didn't care. She admired me. She looked up to me. I didn't let that be a thing though. I saw her as a friend. I didn't look down at her. I didn't take advantage of her admiration. We were friends. After a while we became best friends. I was always at her house or she was always at mine. One day, she mentioned a boy to me. Jake. She said she's been hanging out with him and thinks she likes him. This is where things started getting a little weird. She told me that they were ninjas and they were going to start a group of ninjas. She would draw ninjas all over her schoolwork. She became obsessed with ninjas and Jake. It worried me a little bit. One day we're sitting together during a free period. Samantha turns to me and starts talking about us being sisters. She says she wishes she could live with me and be actual sisters. I tell her I'd love that and I'm sure my mom would be okay with that if she ever lost her parents or whatever the case. This was not in a serious tone. I didn't wink at her. I didn't insinuate anything at all. But the next day she drew up her ninjas attacking people. I saw it and didn't say anything about it. She asked me one time, so if my parents died, would you adopt me? I thought what a weird question but said yeah and laughed afterwards. The next morning everyone is talking about Samantha. She's nowhere to be found. The rumor spread like wildfire. I was in shock. I was in total disbelief. This couldn't be real. She is no way capable of doing that. Or was she? The days go on and I get called into the counselor's office where a detective starts asking me what I know. I tell her everything as I do not want to be involved or blamed for any of this. They let me go back to class sobbing. This girl who I became best friends with really tried to take out her parents just so I could adopt her. I couldn't sleep or eat. I blamed myself. I felt like my words pushed her to do it. To this day, almost 10 years later, I still feel a small amount of guilt. I've talked to her since then. She told me what happened that night. She said she dressed in all black, grabbed a kitchen knife, and went into her parents' room. She said she couldn't see too much but heard her dad move and ask what was going on before she started stabbing his face. He put up his hands to shield himself, so she started stabbing those too. She said it felt like stabbing a watermelon. Fortunately, her dad survived. But now every time I see a watermelon, that's all I think about. She was admitted to a psychiatric facility after the ninja's drawings were found, among other things. After that they sent her to a juvenile detention center. So much has changed since then. She's married now with 2 little boys and very happy with her life. But I know this will always be with her. Me, my brother and 2 other girls were all going on a trip to Washington, D.C. with our youth minister. Since we live across the country, this was not a cheap trip, so we went to our cathedral with our youth minister to collect donations on a Sunday. We were collecting the entire day at 5 different masses. It was pretty boring sitting outside of a church the entire day. By the time we had already collected from 2 masses, it was about noon and everybody was bored out of their minds. We were all just waiting normally and preparing for what would be the busiest mass of the day at 1. While I am busy getting things in order, one of the girls sees a car pull up and thinks nothing of it. The car door opens and she sees a tall black man come out of the car. She is taken by surprise because she realizes he doesn't have a shirt on. But she tries to act like it isn't a big deal. It isn't until the man closes the car door that she realizes that he also had no pants on. Now she is freaking out. She tells my brother that she sees a big naked black man. Bro thought it was a joke. He turned around and saw a big naked black man casually walking across the parking lot directly to the church. Bro is literally speechless. But he musters up enough courage to tell me and the other girl, "Do not turn around, there is a big naked black man behind us." Of course, the girl immediately turns around. She sees the big naked black man, and lets out a small yelp. He is about 20 feet away at this point. Big naked black man keeps casually walking directly into the church. About a minute later we see a man pushing big naked black man out of the church. He's now wrapped with a blanket around his waist. It is important to note that the man pushing him out was no taller than 5 feet 10 inches, while big naked black man was built like a defensive lineman in the NFL. Things get weirder from there. Big naked black man goes from completely calm and composed to full on bawling and screaming in a thick African accent. He kept screaming things like, "My people are dying. And you are neglecting my people." The priest then comes out and starts blessing the big naked black man and attempts to calm him down. By now me, bro, and the 2 girls were completely dumbfounded. The one girl called the youth minister and told her there was a big naked black man in the cathedral. Youth minister immediately came over from the building she was at and escorts us away from the incident. We were all disappointed to have to leave and not get to witness what was going on. We were also relieved because it was really strange and scary to see a big naked black man in the cathedral. We all thought the story ended there, but since we were at the cathedral the entire day, we got to hear more details later in the day. We learned that in the time that we were taken away from the incident, the cops were called. Before the cops arrived, the big naked black man left peacefully in his car. When the cops arrived, they told youth minister that they received reports of several similar incidents from a man with a very similar description. And that isn't it. There was also a random witness from inside the cathedral that told our youth minister the best part of the story. Apparently, when big naked black man went into the cathedral, he walked towards the altar and said, "I am God and you all are here worshipping the devil." He then firmly dipped his genitals in the holy water and yelled out that church had now been blessed. That random witness told her husband, who is a firefighter, about the event. The husband said the description of the man matched the description of people on PCP. So basically, a normal Sunday for collecting donations turned into a bunch of teenagers seeing a big naked black man on PCP walk into a cathedral pronouncing himself as God. Black people fascinate me so much.